welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. The 14th chapter of Matthew gives us the story of a terrific night storm on the Sea of Galilee while Jesus' apostles were rowing across it, and how he came walking to them across the wave. The closing verses of the narrative read, "And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth thou art the Son of God." Night storms on Galilee can arise very suddenly and be quite dangerous even to such experienced sailors as Jesus' apostles surely were. The verses before this text tell us Jesus had sent these men on their journey while he slipped up into the mountains for his customary time of prayer. At that place the mountains overlooked the sea for a long distance, and it is likely as he communed with the Father he was able to see his friends being tossed and battered by the boisterous sea. When he saw the time was right, he began his own journey across the water, striding along where we could only sink, and when the apostles saw him, supposing him to be a spirit, they were even more troubled than the water had made them. But then came the moment when he was safely on board. John, in his gospel, did not tell us that the storm ceased, but did write that they were immediately at the shore. And so their ordeal ended in relief, opportunity to refresh themselves, and a powerful bolster for their faith. It is not always true that his presence is the end of dangers and difficulties, but the consciousness of his presence does hush the storm. The worst of trouble is gone when we know that he shares it, and though the long swell after the gale may last, it no longer threatens. Nor is it always true that his coming, and our consciousness that he has come, bring a speedy close to our toils. We may have to labor on, but in how different a mood these men would bend to their oars after they had Jesus on board. With him beside us, toil is sweet, burdens are lighter, and the road is shortened. Even with him on board, life is a stormy voyage. Peter and Andrew, with their years of experience facing wind and wave in all seasons, yet found there were times and places where human understanding and resolve were not enough to so much as guarantee their own lives, that there are circumstances in life in which no matter how well we have built our little ship, or toned and fitted our minds and muscles for manning it, no matter how familiar the sea on which we sail, we can be brought to despair of ever seeing the light of another day. Life indeed is apt to be a stormy voyage, and there will be times when he seems far away, but he never is. Through our roughest ordeals he is watching us, and when he sees the time is right, he'll make his presence felt. And the simple fact is, without him, life ends in shipwreck. The storms that come to Christians come just as surely and severely to those who have refused to allow him to come into their boat, preferring instead to watch him walk on past. With him it may be long, but it will look much shorter while it lasts, and when we land, the rough weather will be remembered as only a little passing shower. These wearied rowers who had toiled all night stepped on the solid shore as the morning broke on the eastern bank, with Jesus in the midst and everything right in their world. What at a short while before seemed impending disaster had proven to be only another adventure, and one that provided a memory of love and deliverance that would supply courage many another storm after he had gone back to his Father's throne. So we, if we have had him for our shipmate, shall land on the eternal shore, and dry, wet garments in the sunshine, and all the stormy years that have seemed so long shall be remembered but as a watch in the night. We will find that his presence with us made that which seemed so fearsome without him joyous and beautiful and blessed. We will find comfort in the sweet rhythm of his voice, the gentle tones that he uses, and after all, the thing that matters most, we'll be safely on heaven's eternal shore with Jesus at our side. Have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfiveminutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.